Rights.
The U.S. Supreme Court will hear a controversial Louisiana abortion law case similar to others across the country. State Representative Katrina Jackson of Monroe is glad the challenge to the law she authored will be reviewed by the highest court.
This was a bipartisan effort that was passed specifically to promote the women's health and to make sure that women who elected or were coerced into having abortions had the same standard of health care as anyone else.
Jackson's Louisiana Unsafe Abortion Protection Act, Act 620, requires that doctors who perform abortions have what's called admitting privileges at a hospital not more than 30 miles from the facility where the abortion is being performed. Louisiana has only 3 facilities in the entire state.
Also, it's really important to note that in February, we just had an incident in Baton Rouge where a woman went in for an abortion and she was considered high risk. When you perform a high risk abortion or any procedure on a high risk patient in a surgical center, one thing that has to be there is IV fluids.
We spoke to several women on the campus of LSU about the legal battle to come, while some say Jackson's law just hinders abortion care for women.
And I just don't understand the control over a woman's body, like for what? So I just think it is important that we have access to all forms of birth control, including abortions, just so that we can live happier and healthier lives.
Pro-life advocates believe the law enhances women's health care.
I believe that every child, every baby deserves the right to live.
Louisiana is surrounded by other states with similarly restrictive abortion laws. And if the Supreme Court sides with the state's law regarding admitting privileges, this could force the remaining clinics in Louisiana to close, causing others to question what abortion care in the Bayou State should look like.
So I understand the pressure that's put on women with pregnancy. Being a college student, I do understand the fear and the stress that comes with a pregnancy scare, but at the same time I think that we need to do our best to look at this issue objectively. Is this a life, and if it is, do we or the mother have the right to make the choice to take it?
Now, the High Court is expected to begin their arguments early next year and have a ruling by June of 2020. Crystal Whitman, Fox 44 News.
All right, Crystal, thank you. And now to new information on the hepatitis A outbreak in the state. Health experts say there are more cases. The state health department now confirms there are 575 cases. Livingston Parish has the most cases, ranging from 121 to 240. Hepatitis A is a contagious viral liver infection, easily spread through close contact with an infected person. 1 death has been reported so far in Louisiana, and there are vaccines to combat this infection. You can get one at your doctor's office or parish health unit. Well, some traffic relief is on the way for the busy Sunshine Bridge. Here's a live look at that bridge. Officials with the Department of Transportation and Development say all lanes on the bridge are scheduled to reopen next month. It comes nearly a year after a crane on a barge rammed into it, causing damage. Since then, it's been closed temporarily, then reopened with partial lane closures as crews work to fix that damage. We're told the reopening should stay on schedule depending on the weather. An unlikely LSU fan made a pit stop in Baton Rouge to meet up with LSU football coach Ed Orgeron after a picture of him went viral on Facebook. Colton Moore, a 9-year-old with spina bifida, drove in from Alabama to meet his hero. Coach O and a few football players gave Colton a tour of the football ops building and an up-close look at the new $28 million locker room. Colton's parents say he's been following the Tigers since 2017 when they beat Arkansas at the SEC baseball tournament. Since then, he's traded in his Auburn orange and blue for purple and gold.
I see so many cruel things in the world, and when something like this takes place, you realize the world's not really as cruel as it seems.
Colton's tour of Baton Rouge isn't over just yet. He will be here tomorrow to watch the game, and then it's back home to Alabama. Well, the LSU Tigers are recharged after a bye week and ready for another weekend matchup. They're set to take on the Utah State Aggies here at home. Go Nation Sports Director Brian Holland is here with a preview. Brian.
Yeah, Lauren, recharged, but maybe a little short on sleep, especially with those college kids getting up for an 11 a.m. kickoff time there at Tiger Stadium tomorrow morning. And this really sets up as maybe a sleepy start as well. Dangerous territory there for the LSU Tigers. You're taking on a team that isn't even from a Power 5 conference in Utah State. As for that kickoff time, you know, the tailgaters, they're probably not happy, but one player is.
I love them. I don't really like sitting in my room watching all the other games, waiting for our time to come at night. I like getting up at 7, 8, eating breakfast, going to play the game. That's my favorite part.
All right, coming up in your Fox 44 Sports, we're going to take you out live to our football Friday night game of the week. We reveal that game coming up here in just a few minutes. Lauren?
All right, Brian, thank you. And still to come here on Fox 44 News at 5:30, grand opening. The Baton Rouge community comes together to celebrate a new children's hospital when the doors will open for patients.
And right now, traffic remains very heavy across the capital area. You're looking at the eastbound lane. There's the Mississippi River Bridge. A lot of that extends well onto the other side of the river. So we're talking well past the Lobdell exit, LA 415. LA 1 is still backed up. A lot of traffic in between at this point. Heading westbound, everything is fine. However, again, a little bit sluggish going across the base of the bridge. Main thing is just drive safely out there this evening. This traffic has been sponsored by the Murphy Law Firm. Well, here you go. Game day forecast for you. 87 out there as they play Utah State. We're going to go sunny, mainly dry. However, at the tail end of the game, there could be the possibility of an isolated thunderstorm. This weather report has been brought to you by Spanky's Daiquiri. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Well, hard to believe it, but 97 officially this afternoon. We set a new record. The old record was 96 back in 1904. We started out very warm, and as you notice here, 13 degrees above normal. Obviously, we are waiting for that cool down, and it will come, I promise. Looks like we're going to have to wait, however, until Monday. Still got a very hot and humid forecast for this entire weekend. A little bit of dark clouds out there. Right now sits at 88, feels like 93. We've got a couple thunderstorms, but mainly north of the I-10, I-12 corridor. You can see the difference here north of I-12. Notice all the cooler temperatures out there. However, a little bit further south, feel like temperatures still sit in the lower 100s. And again, once that front pushes through on Monday, looks like we're going to go into a cooler regime over the next couple days, the overall weather pattern. In fact, we may even see a stronger cold front heading into next weekend that could really watch our temperatures dive. So watch that satellite and radar picture. And again, we've got a couple storms, mainly from east to west. A couple of them got to that strong category throughout late afternoon, early evening. Still keeping an eye on a pocket, mainly in southern Mississippi. However, again, going from Livingston right across the Denham Springs area now into East Baton Rouge. Watch for a little bit of rain, the chance for some heavy downpours out there along with those lightning. Jackson, as you notice, mainly areas north of the Zachary area. Will show you a wider shot out there. And again, the concern here is obviously lightning and maybe even the chance for some winds up to about 60 miles per hour. Otherwise, a lot of those storms will fade by early evening. Friday night football, we could have an early evening concern around 7. I think by 8, a lot of these storms will start to fade, and then by 9 o'clock. So again, games could get pushed back a little bit. Just be on high alert for that. Otherwise, Saturday, most of the day should be dry until about mid to late afternoon. And once again, we could see a few isolated thunderstorms pop throughout the area, but not calling for much in the way of rainfall. As you see here, 7-day estimates still kind of keep us at about a half an inch or less. The concern is really going to be in localized pockets. Notice your big picture here. Yeah, the possibility of some rain moving forward, but it's nothing different than what we're used to seeing. So sadly, we're going to have to deal with more weekend heat. Feel like temperatures around 100 before we get those showers out there. A cooler weather pattern arrives on Monday and possibly a stronger cold front towards the tail end of next week, going into next weekend, that could really drop our temperatures. Keeping an eye on the tropics, about a 10% chance of development now. I think that's actually even dropped now recently to about 0%, so I don't see it really becoming anything over the weekend. 72 out there. We're going to look for some clouds out there, some early evening storms, but the rest of the night should be quiet. Look for some areas of patchy fog. And just remember, we partnered up with iHeartRadio Baton Rouge to get your weather on the go. So we've got 90 tomorrow with a feel-like temperature around 100. Make sure you continue to hydrate if you're going to be doing some tailgating. The chance for an isolated storm. Look for some storms late Sunday going into Monday with that cold front. Once that cold front pushes through, you can see the drop in temperatures out there. Highs will be sitting in the mid-80s. Overnight lows in the lower 60s. Feel-like temperatures, well, again, not too different from that actual air-like temperature, meaning we're knocking down some of that humidity heading into early next week. And then long range, look at Friday going into Saturday. 79 for that high with possibilities from overnight lows in the lower 50s.
Jesse, I feel like this is the best news I've heard from you. I feel like I've said that a lot
be a nice
lately,
little excerpt
but this
for you,
is the best news that I've heard. And I'm just happy that it's actually going to feel like fall. Fall is my favorite season, so I'm excited.
Yeah, there you go. Nice little present for you.
All right, Jesse, thanks. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
You're watching Fox 44 News at 5:30. Your local news leader with Chad Sabity, Lauren McCoy, Chief Meteorologist Jesse Kunkel, and Brian Holland with sports.
It was standing room only at the opening of Our Lady of the Lake Children's Hospital today, and the state-of-the-art facility has been under construction for more than 3 years. Fox 44's Kellyanne Biley explains the motivation behind building a hospital just for kids.
It makes me very happy because I've been dreaming of this for a very long time, that we'll have our own hospital.
And I know this hospital for many years has been a dream.
More than 1,000 people showed up to celebrate the opening of Our Lady of the Lake Children's Hospital in Baton Rouge.
We know that children are not many adults and that they need specialized equipment, special-sized equipment, and they need specialists caring for them.
Fifth grader Denia Bowler says it's the nurses, the doctors, and all the staff that have helped her through the hard times.
When I get sick, it just makes me feel so happy that they got people that tries to help me feel better.
On this beautiful day, I wish you blessings.
The opening serves as a new chapter in the healthcare ministry's long history, one that has served the people of Louisiana now for more than a century.
Since I was like 2 weeks old, I had sickle cell disease. I've come to the St. Jude affiliate here probably once a month for almost 18 years.
The $230 million project was made possible in part by a $55 million private capital campaign.
I just think, kind of creates a positive energy that, it's just makes it a little bit more comforting for children who are probably, scared and uncomfortable to be here at first.
The new hospital will treat children from across the region, including Mississippi, Texas, and Arkansas.
It will be an asset for the entire state of Louisiana.
I want to tell them thank you for the love and support for children, because we couldn't have done it without you guys.
Kellyanne Biley, Fox 44.
Hospital staff will begin moving patients into the new building starting at 6 tomorrow morning. Drivers can expect Essen Lane near I-10 to be closed for the better part of the morning. Sports after the break.
Ain't nothing but a G-think, baby. We're over here at Dunham. They're taking on at Kentwood Kangaroos, and it's homecoming for the Tigers.
Coming up is your 3 keys to the game. The LSU Tigers taking on the Utah State Aggies. But first, a little bit of football here in the Red Stick. It's a football Friday night in our very own Chessa Boucher. Live from our game of the week with a full preview. Chessa.
Brian, I'm excited. Football is back, and it's hard to believe we're at the midway part of the season for high school football. A great game of the week here as Kentwood takes on Dunham. It's homecoming night here for the Tigers, so it's a crazy one, and it sure will be a great one tonight. Now, the Tigers are coming off of a tough road win, and I caught up with Neil Weinert earlier this season or earlier this week and asked him what was it going to take for his team to beat Kentwood tonight, and he said his team was going to have to play hard on every play, and they were going to have to eliminate the turnovers because Kentwood is excellent at all three phases of the game. Now the Kangaroos, they're 2-2 this season and coming off of a tough loss against Live Oak. They lost by 12 to the Eagles, but they are definitely ready to get back in that win column here tonight. We'll have highlights coming up tonight at 9:30 on our Football Friday night show. But for now, Brian, I'll send it back to you.
Cannot wait. Dunham, one of the best programs here in the Red Stick the last few years, taking on Kentwood, who also, hey, it always seems to end up late in that playoff run. LSU hoping to make a playoff run eventually, but they're going to have to tackle a little better, especially against, a team that likes to get you out in space, spread it out more than Vandy did. Also on offense, keep Joe Burrow clean. You can't take unnecessary hits against a non-Power 5 program. In training day, not only does Ed Ingram need to get back in that football shape, you're also trying to work in some others who have been on that injury report there for the Bayou Bengals. Of course, we'll have more coming up in your Football Friday night and your Fox 44 News at 9. Till then, though, we'll have more Fox 44 News right after this.
All right, Jesse is back with one more look at this forecast. Jesse, all I hear is cold front. I don't hear anything else you say.
Everything is clear.
Front.
Well, first of all, before we even think about that cold front, we got to think about a couple storms this evening. We're getting reports of some hail in the Denham Springs area. We're getting reports of thunder and lightning out there, so just be cautious. Friday night football games could be delayed at this point through early evening. Otherwise, once we get past the storms tomorrow, should be hot and humid early with a high of 90 with a feel-like temperature around 100. We could see an occasional shower throughout the afternoon. A couple storms late Sunday going into early Monday. That's in advance of that cold front. Once that cold front pushes through, highs will sit in the mid-80s by Monday night. We're going to drop into the lower 60s. A couple areas could even drop into the upper 50s out there. Pretty steady for most of the work week at this point. And then by Friday and Saturday, that's when that next front comes through. And this one could be bringing in some, or just kind of tapping into some of that cold Canadian rocky air. And guess what? We could be seeing overnight lows in the lower 50s come this weekend. So highs in the 70s. Yeah, fall is not too far away.
And that's what I'm looking forward to, because honestly, it should feel like fall, but I'm just waiting. It just feels like summer continued.
Yeah,
you know?
And stuff like that, if we get temperatures like that and it holds true, that'll actually put us below normal.
All right, Jesse. Well, thank you so much for the good news today.
You're welcome.
All right, well, that's it for us. Thanks for watching Fox 44 News at 5:30. We are back here tonight at 9.
This is your Storm Tracker team forecast first.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. This is your forecast first. Well, we're tracking a couple thunderstorms this evening. A lot of them got to the severe category. Most of those thunderstorms have pretty much collapsed at this point, but we are still kind of monitoring a couple strong thunderstorms, kind of jam-packed with a little bit of lightning, some heavy rain. And obviously the concern here is that we could see a sizable downdraft, meaning some very strong wind gusts somewhere in that 40 to even 50-mile-an-hour range out there. Notice again, we've got a couple thunderstorms kind of trucking their way north of I-12, now moving towards the airport and the north side of town. We've got a couple more pockets of rainfall. A couple of these storms have even reported a little bit of hail in the mix. So watching these storms as they march their way from east to west through the area. And if you've got Friday night football plans, well, just keep an eye on it because there still is lightning in these individual thunderstorms. They may have to push back that start time just a little bit. A lot of these storms will fade as we move into early evening. Just a little bit of a closer look, and you can see here just around Airline heading towards the Scotlandville area near the airport. Some of those thunderstorms kind of quickly racing through, looking for still some additional rain right around the border of the, well, from Livingston moving into East Baton Rouge Parish at this point. And again, obviously, most of the stronger thunderstorms sat in southern Mississippi today, and that was mainly in the Wilkinson area, Amite and Pike. Still looking at a system there that has a lot of lightning at this point. Again, we're going to watch these storms kind of quickly push through for the rest of the night, and then after that, we'll quiet things down. But we're launching closely that next cold front. We're going to detail that coming up in just a bit.
Admissible in court, SCOTUS taking up a Louisiana abortion law, and both sides of the issue have a lot to say tonight. Why the lawmaker responsible says clinics need admitting privileges. Plus, rise and shine. An early game against Utah State tomorrow morning has Tiger fans on edge, hoping their team can defend its winning streak, while Coach O says he likes his odds. Good evening. I'm Dion Guillory. My co-anchor John Burns has the evening off. Thank you for joining us for NBC Local 33 News at 6. Developing now, the Supreme Court will hear a Louisiana abortion case in its 2019-2020 session, which starts on Monday. NBC Local 33's Jesse Tenor explains how this could be the year the now conservative majority court revisits abortion rights and the landmark Roe v. Wade decision.
1 year after Brett Kavanaugh became a Supreme Court justice, the nation's highest court announced it will hear an abortion case that some believe could overturn Roe v. Wade.
It's a purposely more conservative Supreme Court, right? So that you can raise these types of laws up and slowly, or in this case quickly, chip away at people's right and access to abortion.
Tara DeMant is the director of the Gender, Sexuality, and Identity program at Amnesty International. The justices will hear a case against the Louisiana law requiring doctors who perform abortions to have admitting privileges at a nearby hospital.
This law, on its face value, doesn't look like it's specifically designed to chip away at your right to abortion, but that's exactly what it's meant to do.
The abortion provider that sued to block the law argues it would force 2 of the state's 3 abortion clinics to close, and they say it wouldn't reduce the amount of abortions, but just make them more dangerous. But conservative groups say these laws protect women. The lawyer for Americans United for Life said in a statement, "It is impossible for abortion clinics and doctors to share or represent the interests of their patients when they seek to eliminate the very regulations designed to protect their patients' health and safety." In 2016, the Supreme Court struck down a similar law in Texas. But with Kavanaugh on the bench, the court is now considered solidly conservative, which both sides agree could change the legal outcome. In Washington, I'm Jesse Tenor.